The Spinoff Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spinoff Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Greive, founder of The Spinoff. You can help us keep all of The Spinoff's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Welcome to the Fantasy Suite podcast. This is episode 2. We're breaking down everything The Bachelor New Zealand. My name's Jane Yee, and joining me in the Fantasy Suite we have Duncan Greive and also Alex Casey from the spinoff.co.nz. And we appreciate you have a choice. So thank you, because there is another podcast out there. It's not anything to do with the New Zealand Bachelor.
But it has a very similar name.
It's called Fantasy Suite. Do not be confused. We're the
Sounds
Fantasy
bad.
Suite.
We're not the original.
They haven't got the
But we are the best.
We are definitely the best. Next week, when we do our third podcast, we will equal them in the number of podcasts that they've done. And let's not forget the US Bachelor has done like 19 seasons, so they're trailing a little bit.
A little.
We also would like you to start using hashtag if you're on Twitter to, communicate with us, talk about us. And it's TFS Pod. Okay, that's the hashtag you have to use, and Duncan was resistant about the hashtag, so let's prove Duncan wrong on this.
Yeah, I really want to be wrong. I just look at the Our First Home hashtag every week during Our First Home, and it's only the Our First Home Twitter account using it. It makes me so depressed. So please, let's beat that low watermark.
I think already more people are listening to this podcast than are watching Our First Home.
The ratings say otherwise, but my heart agrees with you.
We're going to start off with some Bachelor news. It has been a massive week for controversy in the mainstream media about The Bachelor or The Bachelorettes.
Week 2 of controversy.
So what's happened, Alex? What's happened?
First up, what do we want to start with? I guess Matilda, working for MediaWorks, is the big kind of scoop of the week. I don't really know how much else there is in that, apart from just that fact.
Well, she doesn't just work for MediaWorks, she works for TV3, and she works in sales, which is... like they've tried to dress it up like she's, it's made by iWorks. They're the guys responsible for all the criminals getting through the net. But in sales, like she would have been selling on this production. That's her job at TV3. So there's a little scoop. She's a great contestant. You can understand why she was tapped. So, But I ultimately think it's not like this is the freaking Olympics. I think there's a few little conflicts here and there. We can live with those. Yeah,
and the ultimate prize, it's not like she's getting even a car or anything. It's just this super hot dude.
Super hot though. God.
Yeah.
Is there? I mean, every contestant probably has some tie to a sponsor or the production company or the broadcaster somewhere along the way. So I'm not sure that's such a big deal.
Yeah, they were almost all shoulder tapped, right?
It's just too... Yes, exactly. It's too... This country's just too small. Danny has a DUI.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Herald really made a big deal of that. I don't think that matters. I feel like that's just there but by the grace of God for a lot of us. You don't want to recommend, you don't want to get more than one. You want to learn your lesson.
No.
But
it might be an issue for Lindau.
Could have been an issue for Lindau.
Speaking of Lindau, we've just been enjoying some lovely Lindau.
Oh, it's lovely. Sick.
Nailed the segue. Lindau Sec. We had the Special Reserve Blanc de Blanc last week. This week the Sec, which is an entry-level priced varietal, and it's been a treat.
And yeah, I'm not surprised that Lindau does so well in blind tastings, Duncan, because that's delicious.
It really is.
You'd never know the difference between that and a $100 bottle of something amazing. More
That's
expensive.
exactly right. And then the last scandal...
Well, no, there's two more.
There's two more.
There's Rosie. Rosie has been in the news this week for... So Rosie departed The Bachelor last week.
Yeah.
She's been in the news this week for... she's engaged. She had a whirlwind or whirlpool. Who called it?
Poppy.
A whirlpool
It's been a real
romance with some rugged fellow who's prepared to be her bulletproof vest in Kuwait. And
The thing is, I don't get Rosie because, like, in her bio, all of a couple of months ago, she'd moved to Thames to take care of her spinally injured brother, which sounds like a long-term assignment. It's not something you just wank a couple of nails in and off he rolls. Like, I
don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe she's looking for an out, though. She wants to go to Papua New Guinea.
I've been thinking so much about Rosie this last week and about why did she even go on the show. Her criteria was so specific.
Yeah.
That did she honestly think that she was going to find, Mr. Adventure? And it's not just Mr. Adventure. There's a lot of outdoorsy guys in New Zealand. She was looking for the guy who wanted to go to the Middle East and get shot at, basically.
Mark Wahlberg and Shooter.
Right. So
Only man in the world for her.
and then she turned up and went, you don't want to do that. I'm out. That's just, there's a lot. She was taking 3 months off her real estate job, 3 months away from her critically ill brother and all of that. Anyway,
The good thing is she's found love.
I'm thinking about it all the time.
Maybe
She's
she
happy.
found love. Did she find love due to her newfound profile, or did this already happen before?
No, because I've only got out for a week.
Because maybe, there's some sort of network for Papua New Guinea thrill seekers who get connected via reality shows. I don't know. I don't know how the world works.
But you do know about a spider bite?
Yeah, so
I
this
do
is
know about a spider
the
bite.
other big Bachelorette news of the week, and this
Hasn't
is an
quite-
exclusive coming from Alex Casey.
It hasn't quite hit the papers yet because I'm still not sure if I actually saw it or if it was a dream because I can't find it on Instagram now. But Bridget, I started following her on Instagram, which you two have said is a mistake, but I don't think she's going to reveal any spoilers because I don't think she's going to get very far. But she Instagrammed a picture today of Amanda in hospital with a spider bite. And I don't know much beyond that, but it means they're still friends.
Yeah,
There are some bad spiders out there,
yeah.
and Amanda is ill.
Who's
So-
looking after the twins?
Who
Spider.
at any
Maybe
point-
Art's looking after the twins, guys.
Oh,
Putting that out there. Who knows?
that's a good theory.
Okay, so let's get into the show this week. So, the Tuesday night episode, first date went to a crowd favourite, Matilda.
Maddie, as Art called her affectionately.
Yes.
Nicknames.
She drove herself in her Suzuki to the Auckland Harbour Bridge and then said, "Where are we? Where are we?"
It's hard to know.
And then he took her for a wee walkie along the bridge, and then they jumped off. Would you guys do a bungee? Have you done a bungee?
Never. I don't think I'd do it.
I've not done one, and I reckon I'd struggle. I was really to go not to go all out on this situation. But I was really impressed at how brave she was. I mean, I kind of was.
I'm petrified of heights. If I stand on a chair, I get wobbly. I've done that bridge walk, but I haven't jumped off the bridge. But I find it terrifying, absolutely terrifying. So I think she really missed an opportunity to do a big adrenaline rush hug. If that was me, I would have hugged like the dreadlocked guy who was attaching the ropes to my feet.
Yeah.
I've been so hyped up on adrenaline in that moment, and yet.
Tactical error.
I think Art was already getting straight jacketed up for his own jump, though, which was horrific. It was so much worse than hers. His face went completely under the water.
You know he opted for that, right? That's not something they just do to you as a surprise.
Yeah, no, I know. But it did look like a surprise, didn't it?
It did, but
Certainly surprised
the
Alex.
wetter the better, as we say from last week, right?
Yeah. Danielle B.
Danielle B. The wetter the better. And then there was a really nice little picnic sitting on a ledge, and once again they were seeing she was taken by surprise at this picnic basket that was right more or less at her feet. She's looking out over the Auckland skyline.
Yeah.
And
Still trying to figure out where she is.
And he was like, we've got another surprise. It was right there, 2 feet in front of you. And she feigned surprise quite badly.
I've got to say, I feel like she's got the worst deal of all the picnics so far on account of being in a boiler suit, aka the main thing that people wear on The Bachelor New Zealand, and wearing a big plastic helmet.
And actually being clipped into something. So
Yeah.
if there had been a passionate moment, it could have gotten very tangled very quickly.
That's true.
Yeah. And the contents of the picnic basket were very bad.
I thought so.
It was like one croissant and maybe some grapes. I don't know. The whole thing was a ruse, though, right? To hide the rose. A ruse for a rose.
Right.
It was squashed under there. Like all the roses are increasingly being
Can we
put
get
in the worst places.
Yeah, that's right. Can we get a Rose report?
I to be honest,
Rose review.
So I watched last night's episode with my we'll say mother-in-law, not by law, because we're not
Common law mother-in-law.
A common law mother-in-law. And she's a florist, and she didn't comment on that rose, but the second rose that was given out on a date, she was mortified at the condition it was in. She's really concerned for the welfare of the roses, and I've been watching the roses ever since. I can tell you, it's a pretty sorry state of affairs. But anyway, back to Matilda on the bridge with her rose. I don't feel like the Heidi Rose thing, I feel like that's like a New Zealand signature thing now. Like the Bachelor NZ is getting its own signature thing, because I don't feel like they ever did that in the US.
No, they're still trying to act like it's not something that's definitely going to happen every time. But they did have some really quite intense chats on that date. They started talking about marriage and children, and they talked about this fictional lake house for their kids, which I found very bizarre.
Well, see, I don't think that was fictional.
It's his batch, right? The batch has a batch.
Or
his family's a batch.
Or does she have one? I felt like it was her signalling to him that she is also from rich stock.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he comes from money. He's got this old money Auckland private school vibe. I feel like Matilda might be from that kind of end of the woods as well. And I thought the lake house was a real, I'm part of the Taupo set, you know? And it was pretty, that was her kind of little power play, just planting that seed.
How did you guys feel about Matilda standing at the end of that bridge date?
I felt good, but I don't feel as good about it now.
Yeah. That's...
Okay, in context with the other dates that have happened since. So my issue with that date is, number one, it's a day date. There's no chance of things getting steamy and romantic.
Not in a boiler suit.
Dates. You can't
I know.
get to know someone by having the occasional day date with them. That's probably only a couple of hours long. Secondly, I just felt like they've friend-zoned quite a lot. Like, it was just quite polite, and there was not a lot of touchy-touchy, or... He's got to speed up his game.
The amount of touchy-touchy there's been, or the lack of, was summed up by the promo for next week's episode, where you saw sort of 3 kind of extended, gingerly extended fingers resting on a hip, and that was like the frisson of kind of physical contact that was supposed to kind of keep our powder dry for 5 days.
There was also a pinky finger on Danny's lower thigh.
Danny's going for it.
Is this on the jet ski?
This is in the promo.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which they give far too much away, by the way. Promos. Anyway.
They're good at
that. So moving on to the group date from last night. And when I say last night, of course, you're listening to this goodness knows when. So the Tuesday night episode.
Episode 3.
Group date was a rally driving situation.
Are they normally this adventurous, the dates?
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be honest, the New Zealand date's been a little tame. I'm assuming we have some budgetary constraints, so...
Right.
Christy, Alicia, Bridget, Amanda and Carissa were on this date. 2 of the girls had never driven a manual before. That was a big ask. If you're going to drive a manual, is it going to be on television, for the first time, on television, in a rally car, and it's a race.
Yep.
For the man of your dreams.
For the man of your dreams.
And you've one shot.
It's a significant disadvantage.
Yeah.
Which they proved by just stalling the whole way down the road.
Who were the non
Carissa and Bridget, I think.
Yeah, it was Carissa and Bridget, the 2 brunettes. Ugh. Joking.
Carissa obviously is normally driven around by her chauffeur, right?
Yeah. To her section. Just does laps of her section.
So, of course, she doesn't know how to drive a car. And Bridget, that surprised me. I thought she'd be...
She looks like someone who could drive a manual.
I thought she was the kind of girl who could drive a manual and then some.
Like a monster truck.
She could do donuts, and that's about as far as my knowledge of driving manuals goes. But who took it out in the end? Christy.
It was Christy.
Oh, competitive Christy.
Exactly. Her and Alicia had a bit of head-to-head kind of teacher-on-teacher weird competition, I guess. But Alicia screwed up, eh? She spun out or something on a bench.
Oh, yeah, she took it too fast.
Yeah.
She took the gamble and it didn't pay off. And she ended up in the ditch, both figuratively and literally. So Christy won the one-on-one time with Art, which was he produced a rose and it was of questionable quality.
The rose,
according to my mother-in-law.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
My common-law mother-in-law. But she bagged the rose. How was their connection? What do you think?
She did a good thing, and I think it's something that you mentioned last week that older Christy, rest in peace, who is no longer in the competition, did, which was she immediately said, "I've got something to tell you. I've got some walls up."
The walls. That's right. She brought up the walls. I told you you'd hear that again, eh?
Yeah.
So she brought up the walls. Mm-hmm. But then she went, but it won't be hard to break them down.
Yeah, she's like, but I've got more up my sleeves, which is another thing that a lot of the bachelorettes have been saying for girls that don't wear a lot of sleeves.
The Shelton Woolrights of sleevery.
What have they got up their sleeves?
We know what Hayley's got up her sleeves, but we'll talk about that later.
So curious. So curious. Okay.
So, I mean, what wasn't the greatest? I'm really struggling to recall much about it.
They just
There's
sat
a
under a gazebo
That's right.
at sunset, which is nice. And no kissy-kissy. In fact, no kissing at all yet.
Lindau, though.
Always.
So, you know.
Lovely.
I mean, that's already a better date than Matilda had.
It's true. I don't know if you want to be drinking Lindau atop the Harbour Bridge, though, anyway.
They did have a thermos, and we didn't see what was in it. It could well have been
Some
a lovely
chilled Lindau.
Lindau sec.
Yeah. Or maybe a Pinot Gris.
So let's move on to the cocktail party and rose ceremony on Tuesday night. And wow, things have got real interesting. Excuse the background noise, our sound engineer's just twiddling his knobs.
What happened here?
What didn't happen?
This was Chrystal, right? This was
I've
Chrystal coming
actually,
into
in
her
my
own.
notes, I've got like a little rundown
There are so
of
many
who
notes. I
interrupted
just want everyone to
who.
know.
It was bananas. So Chrystal invited Art to steal her away, which I thought was quite a good move. She was like, "Can you steal me away?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than "Can I steal you away?" she put the ball in his court.
Yeah.
And I think she just confused him, and so he had to run with it.
Yeah,
And
it's a phrase that it's the kind of classically hackneyed New Zealand phrase that's just the only thing that's ever used in that situation, and she just sort of subtly reworked it, and Art was powerless to resist.
she's a genius, is what she is.
She's an evil genius.
So then Danny went in for the interrupt.
Something happened before this, though. She made her mark on his face
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
with her lipstick.
Okay, I want to put my lipstick on your face, were her exact words, which was weird. It felt
was
like she just
weird.
wanted to like smear it, like not
Yeah.
even kiss him, and she did it again and again, and it was really odd.
Yeah, and Art seemed pretty uncomfortable. I just got attacked by a moth, sorry. Art seemed very uncomfortable with it, but yeah, like you say, for the first instance of kissing or touching, the fact that it came with the preface, "I want to put my lipstick on your face," just
Not I want to kiss you.
doesn't bode well for the
I want to mark
the
my
touchy-touchy.
territory.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, she put the lipstick mark on his face, and he just sat there awkwardly with it, and they had some awkward conversation. And then Danny came in for the interrupt, and Chrystal, that low down, dirty Chrystal, she showed her true colours properly for the first time, I feel, and said, "No, I don't think so."
And then she said "babe" at the end as well. "I don't think so, babe," which is like, you know, one of the most patronising people. It was funny, I was talking about this with my boyfriend. He's like, "That seemed like a nice thing to say," and I was like, if you're a woman, that is not a nice thing to say.
That's
like
probably
that.
what Art was thinking. So that babe was more
Yeah.
for Art than it was for Danny.
Or was it for both? You
I think
know,
it's
is
for
she
both.
that smart?
Which is it's actually brilliant because
So-
it makes Art think, "Oh yeah, no, that's cool. They're being nice, they're being mates. It's just a little bit of fun." Meanwhile, Danny's like dagger to the heart.
Yeah, double-sided babe.
Wow, that's amazing.
Classic.
She's even more genius than I realised. Anyway, so then what happened? Then Amanda intercepts, and he goes with that one, but he tells Chrystal he'll be back. And then he goes back to Chrystal. No, he goes back to. Oh, so I'm confused. I'm looking.
It was-
it was a
Going
very
back to
confusing.
Chrystal.
So he went back to Chrystal, and then he went back to Amanda.
I don't think he ever got back to Amanda. I think this is the thing, is that Chrystal had
He went to go back to Amanda, and Shivani interrupted him.
Oh, Shivy. Shivy stepped in.
Just I chucked a shiver in there.
And Shivani says, "Is that okay with you?" to Chrystal, because he's walking back with Chrystal, and she's like, "I'd like to steal you. Is that okay with you?" Like just a little, little dagger, I reckon.
From the show.
Chrystal.
Yeah, to Chrystal, because obviously, like that, she'd heard about the situation with Danny, and then Shivani had been like, "No, I'm going to let you know. We all know about this. Is it okay with you if I have time with Art?"
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
kind of like that.
That's a good point.
And then that was when he was on his way back to see Amanda. Shivani interrupted. Did he even make it back to Amanda?
Not in that episode, no.
No, Carissa interrupted then. Got a rose.
That's right.
Got a
Chrystal came out of
rose.
nowhere.
Well, Carissa had a big episode. She had
did.
quite a few, like, given that she was a deaf mute for the first 2 episodes. She really came on strong, both of these, but particularly that first one.
He was really intrigued by her, and he basically spoke out and said, I really want to know more about her, and I feel like he got a bit flustered around her. So I think we need to keep a close eye on Carissa.
Yes, we do.
Then Hayley, bless her, went to go talk to him, and this was her big shining moment in the rose ceremony. She's going to get it one time, and Mike Prue sweeps in and says, right, time for the rose ceremony.
I love imagining whoever is like pushing Mike into these situations, like, go, go, go. He's been waiting there for like 6 hours or something. Yeah, it was really sad for Hayley. I thought she had at that point, she had absolutely no time.
She's one of a few bachelorettes who basically like seem to exist only to look kind of glum and kind of just basically just wait for ages, plucking up the courage to step in, and that precise moment is when there's the worst possible moment.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We know it turns out all right in the end. But can I just mention Shivani's midriff? She had a midriff on show.
Yeah, twice I think. That's kind of her styling, is that little top and a big long dress, which I think is actually, for Block fans out there, the same outfit that Marie wore for the Block live finale. I'm just putting it out there.
Wow,
if anyone wants to do a
okay.
comparison of those, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
You watch a lot of telly.
You're going to be the
I'm
one
sorry.
doing the comparison.
I will be
let's
doing
be
it as soon
honest.
as I get home.
Yeah.
But for someone who doesn't get physical at all, she's throwing some temptress wafts into the air, isn't she, with her midriff?
No, just
Temptress
that,
wafts. A new fragrance by Shivani.
This is not edited.
Shivani for Revlon.
Recorded as live, by the way, guys. Okay, so rose ceremony, Mike Prue interviewed the rose getters, the people who'd already received roses, which is Matilda,
Carissa?
Christy and Carissa.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the beginning of the rose ceremony, I had a little edge interview with them, which was quite strange.
Mm.
But I liked it. I was cool with it. Like, how do you feel? How does it feel?
They all feel exactly the same,
Yeah,
always
pretty good.
will. But
Yeah.
just keep banging them out, mate.
Yeah.
It's quality material.
And actually, we know Mike Prue listens. So, hi, Mike.
Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike. Right, and what happened? Oh,
The
Big thing happened.
the big thing happened.
Danielle L, why? I miss you. I loved your crazy, like whenever they cut to her to give comment on a particular situation, it was always bananas. It was so good.
She's gone.
I know.
She has such an incredible face. Like, just to look at her, it's so intense. Her kind of eyebrows,
intense.
so furrowed. Like, not furrowed, but what is that? Like, V'd? I don't know, they were
Arched.
V'd. Arched. That's the English word.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had a feeling like something was going to happen to her because we didn't see any of her in the episode, like, at all. I don't think.
So to me, why didn't they foreshadow this a little somehow? She went up there and was like, "You're too young. I'm too old. Makes me feel uncomfortable. See you later." But there was no talk of that at any point in the piece to cams or anything.
I wonder if someone Googled her like during the filming, was like, "Oh, this one's all over Google with a fraud
Someone
conviction."
I worked like, now what have I got on my list to do? Yes, I still have to do the vetting of the Bachelorette contestants. Let's go and tippity.
No, because they definitely weren't. I don't reckon they were vetted properly, but I don't think they were even Googled, because that'll be one of the first things that comes out. Or you get a fraud conviction against your name, that stays up in your results. It's a very bad thing to happen to you, and unless you change your name. But
She was using fake names
Duncan.
all over the place.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
true.
Danielle L was even a real name.
Do you think
What?
that she went? Do you think that the one place she used her real name was when she applied to be in The Bachelor?
Yeah,
Probably not.
maybe I'm a little naive.
You might be.
Fine.
But also,
I believe in true love.
we called this last week that if Danielle L was going to leave, she's going to leave with Rosie. And they're both gone now. So who knows? Maybe it's Danielle L, Rosie, and Rosie's
New man.
weird man. And they're off.
He's just a front. Okay, so there was a group rose handout, which I've never seen before. He just basically, he was like, no, you know you're all getting roses.
It was
so-
literally like a lolly scramble, which was kind of cool though, because it did leave it all up in the air for the audience and for the poor girls who were like, one of us were going home, including Danny, who was like a front runner, who was kind of left with the dregs.
Yeah. Man, so much drama. And now we move on to the Wednesday night episode. He's going to plough through the girl. I mean,
Oh my God,
can I just?
Jane.
Okay, sorry. I mean, in the sense of getting rid of them off the show. at this rate, right? Like 2 rose ceremonies a week.
I think it's set to run for 10 weeks.
Has anyone done the maths on that?
No.
How many?
Can't
There's
count.
only 15. There were 14 girls left now. 7. Oh yeah, okay. 8 weeks. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, there'll probably be some single weeks. I think it's supposed to run about 10 weeks, but
Surely
it's
in the
gonna be
last
explosive.
weeks they're not going to
There won't be
have someone
doing
going home
that,
tonight.
no.
Anyway, we
We'll
move
come to
on.
that.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out just in time for that last episode, won't we?
Well, Mike Potter tweeted ahead of this episode that an executive at TV3 had said that this was the best episode yet, and maybe the best episode of anything ever filmed, something to that effect.
Tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was I think it
was
kind of
a
lived
good
up to the billing.
That's quite a big call.
Maybe not the second part of it. That might have been a slight exaggeration on my part. But
Let's take
really
a little
good.
wander. Let's take a wander down memory lane. Amanda got the single date card, and she went off for a spot of golf.
Played some golf. She got some good contact though, with her terrible swings in a montage that went on for ages.
Yeah, and then Art comes in behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quote.
Quote.
He initiated that physical contact. That was not. She didn't say, can you just show me how it's done or anything like that. He was like, I'm going to show you. I don't know if he's watched a lot of movies where they do that or if he was genuinely trying to help her. But he initiated that contact.
I mean, who knows how long they've been there for though? It could have been hours. He's like, I just want you to hit one ball.
They might have arrived there at 10 a.m. and it was dusk. And
Is it not live? It's not live. Oh, it changes everything. So they have this nice touchy moment. I had totally, really not had Amanda in the running in my mind at all. But
Me neither.
No.
well, I don't think she's going to win, but
I don't
she's
think she's gonna
fun,
win.
man. Like I always get happy when Amanda's on screen. She's so exuberant. She's in it to win it. She's not going to win it, but she's given it
She's gonna give
everything
it
she
all.
has. She's given it both barrels.
I thought she looked beautiful in that late afternoon sunset light. I
doesn't
mean,
know
I
that?
know
Yeah.
that's true, but I just thought she looked flawless.
So this is when they went after the golf. They went to the same gazebo.
They used the same gazebo. I'm pretty sure that the picnic basket from the Matilda's Bridge date was the same picnic basket used in Poppy's fart date. So why not reuse the gazebo
Fart's
as well?
still
Airing
inside
it
the
out.
basket.
Can I just one more thing on the golf? I found it particularly great and creepy when she said talked about how she could smell him and gave a
that's
really
right.
great review to his smell.
Yeah.
So he's no Poppy in that department.
Did they actually play any golf, or did they just try and hit a couple of balls for the camera and then bugger off to the gazebo?
Pretty sure that's what they did.
That's
We never
exactly
saw
what they
them. We literally saw them only at the tees and never even sink a putt in anger.
There was a moment where he gave her a rose, and then they went in for a little kissy.
Oh, that was amazing. That's probably the
Talk
highlight of the
us through it.
episode for me. So he leans in for a sort of a cheek kiss, and it's all very chaste as per the Bachelor NZ formula. And she tries to turn her head round 180 degrees to get some lips, and it doesn't succeed. But the strain on her face was magical. It looked so sore. I'm sure she had to see a chiropractor afterwards, but she was keen, man.
Yeah. They said that, and they cut away
Yeah.
to back at the mansion, and I think Alicia was like, yeah, Amanda's been banging on about pashing him since day one. So I think that was her end game. And
Yeah.
she went for it. It didn't work out, but at least she gave it a shot because no one else is really.
No, she
No.
was, it was quite clever though, because she came home and they said, did you kiss him on the face? I think was what Poppy said, and she said, no, I didn't. But they don't believe her because she talked about the fact that she was going to go in for the kill so much.
Also, because she
Yeah.
had the weirdest face at that moment.
Just grinning.
She just grinned like a maniac, like as if she'd gnawed off one of his arms.
She was so happy. Someone said she came back looking loved up, and I think she was loved up. She's there for the right reasons, guys.
Yes, she is.
Can we just give a quick shout out to the violinists who were standing on the cliff top for probably hours? Probably, been working for this for how long? How long can you be a violinist for? You've got to work at it for years, eh?
4 or 5.
Yeah.
The
so-
fingers will be raw.
Yeah.
So that was the pinnacle of their career.
Also,
I'm
I
sure.
don't think we had a single note from them. I think they were literally just props because there was studio violins the whole time, and when they were talking, there was definitely no ambient sound. So it was a bad gig. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe a good paying gig, probably
Hope you
not
got
though.
paid
It's
well,
media
guys.
works.
Craig Lindau.
I'll take it.
Does Linda come in crates? Boxes, I'd say, wouldn't it? Boxes, Linda, do you say?
I don't know.
Cartons.
Cartons. That sounds like a what they refer to in Australia as a goon bag. What do you call those things? Oh my goodness. You know.
Yeah. Cask wine.
Cask wine.
Cask wine.
But it's not. It's
I know
classy
it's not.
Lindau.
Classy
God.
Lindau. Sorry,
busy.
I don't know what's happened to me. I had too much Lindau. Okay.
Should point out at this point that Jane had less than an inch of
Yeah.
Lindau at the
That's how
bottom of her
good it
flute.
is.
It is. It's very
Potent.
efficient.
Very, very efficient. Okay, so there was a group date with Poppy, Chrystal, Hayley, Alicia, and Lisa. Actually, I should have said, I'll just start that again. With Poppy, Chrystal, Alicia, Lisa, and Hayley. Hayley got her date.
Finally.
Yeah.
And they went to, we're going to the zoo. Zoo.
Zoo.
They went to the zoo. They didn't just go to the zoo, which is a bit lame. They went to clean out the alligator enclosure.
The slimiest
Get
place.
amongst the shit.
Put a boiler suit on, you know, one of your 5 that you've got in your wardrobes for all of these dates.
One dress and 5 boiler suits.
Let's go, like, push some alligator shit around.
And that's the thing, right? It wasn't actually just like it's not like we're pretending to play golf for the TV show. It wasn't we're pretending to clean the alligator enclosure. They were cleaning the alligator enclosure.
Yeah.
Like ankle deep in alligator poo.
It looked gross.
It was disgusting. And it
terrible.
smelled bad, and someone was saying they were dry reaching from the stench of it all.
That could have been yesterday's Lindau, though.
Who knows?
Surely not.
No, that's
Surely not. They're all
completely
drinking with, with what's
responsibly.
responsibly. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
You're just gone.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
But what else happened? The Gators. One of the Gators had a bit of a go at Alicia.
Yeah, the
Yes.
gator was in a cage.
But it was up
I
on
know,
its
but
hind
look
legs like it
cool.
was a cartoon character.
Look cool, but don't be scared. It's not going to get you.
I don't
I'd
know.
be pretty scared. It was so mossy.
I would be
don't know.
scared of Chrystal. Chrystal was not loving it.
She's not happy.
She's an ice queen.
I loved it.
She's an amazing reality TV character. I didn't think we had one of her chops in us, but we do, and I'm so pleased.
grateful. Yeah.
So pleased. So
Poppy won
Poppy won. Oh,
by cleaning the
You
hardest.
won the cleaning, yeah.
well, by smiling the hardest while cleaning, enjoying it, and cleaning hard.
Yeah, enjoying the cleaning. Whereas Chrystal was like, does anyone enjoy cleaning? Which,
Fair call, I'd say.
well, no, I quite enjoy cleaning the kitchen. Sometimes I really do.
Jump down with the Gators.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, Chrystal, bad attitude, didn't want that W. Poppy went for it, she got it, and played the best power play of the series so far.
Huge.
Holy
Masterful.
Incredible.
Master stroke from Poppy.
She fooled us all
she
for a
did.
while there.
Talk us through it, Jane.
Well, she wasn't. She preempted it by sort of saying, you know, that it was getting difficult. She couldn't really cope with having these feelings, these burning feelings for art, and how hard it was in the house. Because, of course, this is a surprise to anyone who goes on The Bachelor that they're competing for a man's desires. And then it's sort of like, well, look, I've got this rose for you, and she says, I can't accept it. Can't accept your rose.
But prior to that, like, she was giving him the most intense stares from, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 inches away, and he was looking like an oil painting.
He
was
looked
incredible.
in that. Seriously,
Looked good
if you're
in
going to
that.
go back and watch any part of the episode from Wednesday night, just watch the bit where Poppy rejects and then accepts the rose, because just for art, he was like a work of art. He was like an oil painting. He looked so handsome in that moment.
Unbelievable.
I was so distracted. I could barely hear what Poppy was saying. Something that I can't accept the rose, and he went blah, 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 and just like oozed amazingness. And she said, "Okay, I changed my mind. I will
Yeah.
accept it." He told her to sleep on the rose. Uncomfy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad
Which
advice.
she did though, because she's under art spell, and who can blame her?
Yeah.
So the power play, of course, was that she's got him now second guessing whether or not she wants to be there, and now he's doing a bit of chasey, and guys, that makes a woman attractive to a guy, doesn't it? Guy who's on the panel, Duncan.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is precise. And the great thing about that is the whole dynamic to this point has been like 21 or fewer women all ravenously trying to feast on that bronze Adonis at once. And she just kind of neatly flipped it on its head and said, you know, I need you to chase me.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it worked. Like, you could see it working on him. It was magical. It was pure. It was straight out of the game. It was genius.
See, Chrystal started that way. She started by trying to play it cool, but Poppy played it right. She made herself memorable, made a connection with him, got him in her little alligator claws, so to speak, and then took a few steps back,
and
retreated.
He was properly freaked out as well. Like it almost looked like a proposal scene. Like he was down holding both her hands, being like, I really don't want you to leave.
He
and stuff.
implored her, and he had like little beads of sweat on his brow, and I just melted.
Still looked great though.
Amazing.
I think the cool thing is that Poppy's realised that there's a lot of a particular type of kind of upbeat, maybe a little not humorless, but kind of fairly earnest woman on the show, and she does have a sense of humour, and she's pretty smart, and she's got that kind of exotic, posh English bird vibe about her. and I think that she's going, okay, right, because if I go, suddenly this flock of Sheilas starts to be a little bit frightening for her, and she needs him, even if she's not going to win, she can be his buddy, and maybe parlay that into something more by the end. I thought it was really good leveraging.
Let's also be real about the fact that sometimes, on occasion, even though the Bachelor chooses his forever love lady for the rest of his life, sometimes it doesn't work out. And so if you get yourself a good friendship going, you could be just waiting in the wings to be a shoulder to cry on after that final rose. Yeah,
and then maybe some Amanda action, just sort of sliding around, getting the head up in there. Anything could happen during the consoling hug.
Yeah, that was a great move though. Like, it was scary for a minute thinking that Poppy wasn't going to be there. It was terrifying for
all of us.
And if we felt like that, imagine what art felt like. And
exactly.
I liked her top.
I remember what top she was
She was
wearing.
wearing the white one with the black polka dots.
Oh yeah.
No, I just thought it was very cute. It was very poppy.
Yeah.
It was just nice. It was a blouse.
Yeah.
That may be just speaking to my age though. Righto, and then we had the cocktail party and rose ceremony. I've got no notes about that, so you guys will have to take me back.
This is even more drama than episode 3 cocktail party.
Well, this is probably why I've got no notes, because I was so busy watching.
Yeah.
Well, it was the Chrystal versus Lisa.
Oh my goodness.
The great battle of our time.
That was so amazing. Alex, what happened?
Okay, so I don't know what prompted the line, the only reason you're here is because you're the wild card. Can you guys remember? What started the conflict?
It obliterated like the previous 5 minutes for me. But I do remember how much crazy body language sass Lisa gave it back.
Yeah,
she
was so wiggly.
She was everywhere.
It was you would say that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Which has been promoted right throughout, since the promos started way back when. And I just felt that when I heard Chrystal say that, I felt like she was just joking and it was going to be a joke. Somehow she's going to pull it back and like, no, only kidding, of course we love you, I've seen it, it's got a connection or something. But no. She just kept on going.
She went for it. But, Lisa stood up for herself because then she was like, oh, well, you're playing the bitch card right back at her. So it was like this card war, which was quite cool. And then they were just mortal enemies from there on in, I think. I can't remember what else happened.
They were
mortal enemies. The rest of this episode, because then...
Yeah, then the sadness of Lisa going. Now, I was a big Lisa booster. Every time she came on, I loved her kind of daggy New Zealand accent and how, just plain spoken she was.
Lisa has listened to the podcast.
Has she?
Has she?
I'm a fan, Lisa.
I don't know.
Alex?
Not so much. I like Lisa. I think she's lovely. She's really good to watch on TV. And I can see how. No. Hey, Lisa. You're great. But within the Bachelor thing, well, I hadn't seen a lot of her with Art. You don't remember, that amazing Lisa and Art moment.
No.
And she just kind of seemed to me to be the person who was always there, but never there.
She gave
as
great
well.
chat though, and that's not true of many of the Bachelorettes.
And when it came down to her and Natalie,
yeah.
We sat together and we watched it, and we said, we actually, Natalie, you're lovely also, but we wanted Natalie to go. We wanted Lisa to stay because Lisa provided so much colour in the house, and because she was not afraid to call it as she saw it, and there was this new mortal enemy thing going on with her and Chrystal that never reached its full potential.
Oh, that thing could have run because that was hardly the only incident. That they basically went at each other the whole night, and they didn't even go off into rival camps and have a little kind of discussions about one another. They stayed in close proximity and just threw barbs. It was awesome.
It could have been something
Yeah.
just amazing.
A great rivalry.
There were some more lines. I remember Chrystal went off, and I think maybe Danny went up to her and confronted her about it again, and Chrystal gave this great line that she's just working her way down the food chain, which I don't completely understand.
No.
I don't know that,
That's
Chrystal.
not
I think she starts talking and she does. I do this sometimes. When you say something and you kind of know, you think you might be wrong and there's some doubt in your mind as to whether it makes sense or that you're right about a fact, but you say it with such conviction that you basically knock down anyone who's coming at you. So I just think she was doing that. She was like, if I just sound like I know what I'm talking about, then people will fall for it. And I guarantee that 75% of the viewers just were like, yes, she's working her way down the food chain.
Yeah, she's done that before as well. I think maybe she likes like kind of sharky feeling metaphors, because she did one about early on. She's like, you don't need to be, if you're getting chased by a shark, I don't need to be faster than the shark. I just need to be faster than you.
But that's
Is that true?
Sense?
yeah, what she's basically saying.
She's saying that
The shark is going to eat the one.
Is the shark
slower one.
elimination?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We
It's
shouldn't be
not
having this
entirely
much of a
clear.
problem with all this. You know what? I really like Danielle
Crystal's
L's
missing all this.
comment about Chrystal in the first episode, but I think she called her, just talked about her being in the bubble.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is pretty accurate. She's incredibly beautiful and she's very kind of modelly looking, and it feels like she's been the kind of the prettiest, most praised person in her circle her whole life, and so she'll drop these lines, some of which don't make any sense, many of which are unconscionably cruel, and people, you get the feeling like in her prior experience that's all been sort of fine.
I think she may be a sociopath.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're happy to have her.
And maybe that's how the rose ceremonies will work from now on. There'll just be mysteriously as many people as there are roses, and someone will be in the cellar.
She can't win the show, though, can
No.
she? She can't. I mean, imagine the edit, like the editing her
cut.
together as a total
Yeah.
cow, and then she wins the show in the nation. It'd like be like Natalia kills
Yeah.
something Natalia kills. You know, it
that'd
would.
be
It would be
great.
something. It'd be like
Working their way down the food chain.
moving away down the food chain.
All right. So
Did we talk enough about the rose ceremony?
What else
What
happened? I mean, I
happened?
just feel like that
Oh,
eclipsed
Lisa
everything.
went.
Really, Lisa,
That's right.
Lisa
Yeah.
went.
I think we got through. I'm sad to see Lisa go. I feel like everyone who's gone has been pretty. Not everyone who's gone, but we've lost some really good bachelorettes. along
We've
the
lost
way.
some good talent, but I don't think we've lost anyone who was
We haven't lost a
likely.
contender yet.
Yeah, we haven't lost a contender yet.
We have forgotten one thing from the cocktail party, and I'm very surprised you've both forgotten it, seeing as you both picked the song that it was rapped to.
Oh my god!
But this is Hayley's bizarre rap for art, which she had been working on seemingly for 4 episodes now, because this is the first time she's had any chance to do it. All I got down of it was, met this guy late last week. That's it. It went on for about 10 minutes, though, so there's a lot more.
What else could she have said? Because it was a rap about their relationship, and they had a
The entire
relationship
version
yet.
of it.
It was pretty much that. Just should have been the entire rap. I met this guy late last week, and here you are now. Hello, I'm Hayley. Because he did actually say when he was playing with the lemurs with Poppy, and they were kind of assigning different lemurs depending on their personality traits, assigning
yeah.
them matching bachelorettes, and at one point they were sort of, which one's Hayley?
Yeah, telling.
But
it was the rap went on to become a sort of a cover, an Ed Sheeran sort of melodic.
It was
cover.
to the tune of an Ed Sheeran rap singy thing.
That song "Sing." I think it was the first single off X. And
You don't think.
I'm pretty confident. I'm probably more confident than I should be. But so yeah, that was an extraordinary moment. Just a great episode. It was chock full of those kind of moments. Now I feel like we've been going for it. I think it could be time for us to pick our favourite lines of the episodes.
Okay, I've changed mine, so I hope I haven't gone and.
I hope you haven't.
You choose. You say yours.
I've got mine. Okay, mine is, I think this is what Chrystal said as a conciliatory effort to Lisa after she was eliminated or was on the way out. This was her way of apologising, and she was like, no, I don't have a problem with you. I did really like your scones the other day, which seems like
That is the
huge-
faintest praise I've ever heard.
such a neg. Like, I don't like
Because no one
your
even likes
presence.
scones anyway.
I know. Who
So
enjoys
that
a
was our
scone?
neg of this week.
Yeah,
That
I
was our
really
neg
liked
of
the
this week.
scones the other day, and now they're not going to have any more scones.
No.
Because Lisa
So-
will be making them for More FM.
Yes, you will. 7:20 tomorrow, which
Which
will,
by the
will
time
be in
you're
the
listening to
past.
this, will be in the past.
Yeah, this is freaking Inception, the podcast. My favourite line is dedicated to the late great Danielle L, who I will miss from this day forth. She said, "I'm about to kill myself listening to this. I've got no context for it, but whatever it was probably didn't require that level of venom," and it really just sums her up. That the whole time she was operating at 120% of capacity on the
Yeah.
intensometer, and it was a joy.
This is a woman who's on the run, okay? So she's wound up like a spring. She's waiting for life to catch up with her, and so I think that, that probably says a lot about her frame of mind at any given time.
Hypervigilant.
Hypervigilant. My favourite quote comes from Bridget regarding Chrystal, when she said, "Any man with a penis would have chemistry with her." Any man with a penis.
Which
Yeah.
is
What
kind of a
about the
diss to
men
all
with-
the non-penis community.
That's a small percentage of men in the world who don't have a penis. She probably could have just gone any man or anyone with a penis. I think she
just
mixed
wanted
up
to
her
say
quote,
I want
penis.
to drop a P-bomb.
Yeah.
and she
And
did.
thank goodness,
Yeah,
And that's probably about as saucy as it gets.
it
on the
is.
show.
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
But we are looking forward with much anticipation to what's going to happen next week. It seems like there's at least some physical contact,
There's some high wire action, I think.
some high wire action, some archery,
Some more
Some
orange
guns?
tops.
more orange top. So the orange top, the
Curse of the orange
theory.
cop.
So hang on, the fart is still the fart is still the
Reigning quote champ.
reigning quote champ.
Yeah,
We just didn't
for
need to cover
sure.
that. Okay. None of our quotes this week took over the fart. So next week, yes, lots to look forward to, and we do hope that you will join us in the Fantasy Suite next week. Don't forget, if you want to mention us in a hashtag on Twitter, we're hashtag TFSPod, and we'd like to say very big thanks to Ricky for sitting through another night of this and twiddling knobs and pushing dials and so on. And to
Pushing the
Lightbox.
hell out of those dials. You really wouldn't leave
You
them
don't
alone.
push dials, do you? You turn dials. There's no dials. Okay.
It's just all knobs here.
Knobs and
Knobs.
Fantasy
faders.
Suite.
Knobs and
It's the opposite
faders.
of the Bachelor mansion.
This is the most untidy exit out of a podcast ever. So thank you to the spinoff.co.nz and also to lightbox.co.nz, and make sure that you go to the Spinoff to check out Alex's power rankings for The
Hey.
Bachelor. And we'll see you guys next week.
Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, Senior Writer at The Spinoff. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spinoff. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spinoff member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spinoff Podcast Network.